Hello everybody. Welcome to the first ever Holistic Chamber of Commerce Community Education Panel on Holistic Health and Wellness. Tonight's topic is food as medicine, and I am so pleased to welcome you to the very first Community Education Panel. Hello everybody. Wellness. Tonight's topic is food as medicine.
I don't know why that's happening.
I think I would, let's go ahead and have everybody mute their phones, computers, tablets, and let Camille do her thing. Go for it.
Okay, so first ever, guys, there may be a few more hiccups, and we're going to go through anyways, because we've got some very good stuff on today's agenda. All I want to say here at the beginning is that the Holistic Chamber of Commerce was started and is here to increase awareness, education, and access in the arena of holistic products, services, and solutions, which is exactly what these panels are about and what our guest experts are here to share. So it's a natural next stage for us, and given what's going on these days, it's a natural place for us to be helping people learn more about health and wellness and natural ways to take care of yourself, get healthy, stay healthy. At the same time, we unite our members with each other for extra exposure and collaborative opportunities, because that makes it easier for all of us to go further, faster. Now, I'm going to introduce tonight's moderator. We're very blessed and honored to have her on our Holistic Chamber of Commerce team. Lainie Sevante Wulkan is the Global Online Sales Director for the Holistic Chamber of Commerce. She is also the co-founder of the Food Healing Oracle Deck. And I am going to step aside as I turn the window, the screen, the stream over to Lainie and to our featured panel of experts. Have a good night. We'll see you on the other side.
Thanks, Camille. Thank you for everything. Thank you for allowing us all to be here because of you. I just want to echo her thoughts that this is an amazing platform for all of us to be together. Not only that we have a panel of experts here on a variety of subjects, tonight will be food as medicine, but we're also HCC members, and we are showing how we work as a collaborative community. And that is another way that we are grateful to be able to share that experience. So hi to everyone who's here watching. We'd love for you to post comments, say who's here. We'd love to hear who's here. And then also as we move along, if you hear questions or you want to make comments, put them in. We'll go ahead and address them to the panel as well. And try to make this as interactive as possible on StreamYard tonight, which is now live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and our YouTube channel. So I'm glad you're at one of those. And then also there'll be a replay of this for those who want to catch what we had to say here tonight in the future. All right, so let us begin. What are we here for tonight? The last year with COVID and continuing, food as medicine has been an amazingly important topic. We know that. Everything that we're seeing out there in the world has been about the fact that we have a need to take care of ourselves. And we have some sponsors here tonight who have stepped up and said, yes, this is so important. I'm going to sponsor our first evening together. As it turns out that there are 3 of us here tonight who are also on the panel. So let me go ahead and introduce some of our sponsors, thank them for making this possible. These are big endeavors, and with their support, we're here tonight. So let me first introduce Linda McBee from Happy DNA Candy. She is here as one of our sponsors and panelists tonight. Linda.
It's great to be here, and just really excited to be able to collaborate together with some great colleagues and helping people understand how critical food is in healing.
Beautiful. All right, our next sponsor here is also our panelist, Craig Handel from Shackley. Craig, say hello. You're on mute. Just need to unmute. That happens a lot, right?
There we go.
Let's keep you off mute because I don't think you have a bunch of noise in the background. So we'll keep you off. Go ahead, Craig. Go for it.
Well, thanks for having me on. It's great to be here. This is such an important topic because, you know, our soil and water is not what it used to be. And because of that, have about half the nutrition in our fruits and vegetables. And so this is something that we need to talk about and share with people, and maybe we can enlighten the folks as well tonight.
I have 100% confidence that that's what's going to happen. Most of you know me. If you don't know me, I'm the co-author with Joanna Salerno on the Food Healing Oracle deck. We also just released a follow-up to that, which is our smoothie book based on the Food Healing Oracle deck, Smoothies, Nourishing Wisdom Beyond the Blend. And this is a collection that was born actually pre-COVID in November of 2019. And we brought it to market not knowing what was happening in the world. But it is also about food as medicine and really going back to Mother Nature and bringing forward her wisdom. And I think we're all going to be talking about Mother Nature's wisdom tonight, that back in the day, we had soils, just like Craig said, that were nourished. Now they're malnourished, right? We've got pesticides. We've got now foods being made genetically modified that aren't out on our plants and trees and bushes. So there's a lot of work to be done. And I think what we're going to be talking a lot tonight is that although we're using the word as food as medicine, we also want to go back to some basics and realize how essential simplicity is. And so why don't I go ahead and introduce Miss Laura Shofroth as one of our panelists. Laura, thank you so much for being here. Laura is the owner and founder of the Miracle of You Health and Wellness Coaching Program. She is a certified herbalist, a premier 20-year health consultant, certified life coach, author of the Miracle of You 5-Step Program for Vitality and Greatness. She is also one of our very own HEC chapter presidents for Hilton Head, South Carolina. And it is her passion to help clients reverse chronic illness, chronic pain, and develop a successful mindset in all areas of life. Welcome, Laura. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here on this particular panel. Food is medicine is something that I live and breathe, and my clients learn, and it's so important for me, as well as I know the other panelists, to spread the word how food is healing and what's on the end of your fork, and what we take in is so important and can have a big factor in our health. So thank you for having me. Super excited.
Yes. Well, I'm thrilled to have all of you. And as we go along tonight, as I mentioned to you off air, that I know now, getting to know you all, that we all share a common thread of not just having wonderful business acumen and accolades and certificates, but we all have experiences and what have led us here today. And I know that you're all going to maybe share a little bit of some of your backstories that have brought you to this moment. So let me introduce you to Lucille Trice. Lucille, say hello. You can unmute after, let me maybe introduce you and then unmute, because in case we have the reverb. Lucille began her nursing career as a military nurse, and she has worked many modalities in that time, but her primary experience has been cardiac medicine and pediatrics. Today, she's the proud owner of Radiance Holistic Wellness. You may see it online sometimes as Holistic Radiance Day Spa, same place. And there's where she combines modern technology and natural food sources for her skin and body treatments. She also provides general consultations on health and wellness, being a nurse, for her client needs. So say hello to Miss Lucille Trice. Hello.
Hi, everybody. Hope you can hear me well.
Yep.
Welcome. Happy to be here. Looking forward to sharing information that hopefully could connect the dots for people who are, taking the opportunity to be better with getting on the road to health. and hopefully deciphering a lot of the information that we get bombarded. This is great. Take this, take that. On this show, our goal is to keep it simple and give you as much information as we can. So happy to be here and contribute.
Excellent. We will get to, you go ahead and mute, Lucille. Thank you. We will be addressing some of your questions as I said we go along, but let me circle back to Linda McBee. Linda McBee started at the age of about 11 years old to understand labels and what is in food and nutrition. She has had a lot of allergies and was not able to use laundry soap, lotions, struggled with most capsules, tablets, and powders on the market for supplements. She now works with a nutraceutical company that is a botanical that melts in your mouth and looks at 15 different health issues. She has an AA degree in mental health with an emphasis in health and people, certified medication technician, and beginning DNA theta healing practitioner. So, Linda, you want to say a few words? So glad you're here.
Thank you. Yes, life is a story. And as you go along life, you begin to realize that focusing on health is so critical. And it's just amazing how sometimes the interwoven story and patterns of finding solutions can sometimes, for me, was really struggling. And it was really, really hard. As much as wanting to find solutions, but finding it difficult to be able to take things that a lot of even functional medicine doctors and people gave me. So I'm so super thankful to find something that addressed a lot of those autoimmune issues. So thank you so much for having me today.
Wonderful. We look forward to hearing more tonight about what you represent. Craig Handel is a health consultant and coach for a startup business with a 65-year-old, I had to say that twice because that's a long time, network marketing company called Shackley. The name of his company is Handel on Health, and he is working with a team of business builders while he also has customers. And his goal is to work with nonprofits as well as individuals who have a passion to help others financially as well as with their health. Craig, hello again.
Yes. My health challenges began at age 5 when I found out I had kidney issues, and it evolved as I got older. A doctor told me, your challenges are chronic and progressive, and so I always had to, be very careful about what I ate and what I drank, and so I was looking for something to help me as I got older because I noticed my flare-ups became more and more regular. When I flare up, I kind of balloon up like the Michelin Man, and I gained like 10 to 20 to 25 pounds of fluid. And so I discovered this company, Shackley, because they really appealed to me with the research that they do. And someone once told me that you need to do something that will help you on a cellular level, and that's one of the things that this company does. And so I've seen the benefits of the products, and now I'm sharing that with people and hoping to improve their health as well.
Beautiful. Laura, I know that Linda and Craig had a backstory. Do you want to give a brief backstory on what brought you here? I know you've shared offline. I'd love for people to know that where you came from, and I'm sure it's in your new book. So yeah, maybe share a little bit about what happened and where you are now.
Absolutely. So when I was 34, I was diagnosed with an incurable disease, and facing that was pretty harsh at my age. I had some young children, and I was facing a radical surgery that would not allow me to have any more children. So apparently I have a little bit of a rebellious heart. I just took a step back, and there was a part of me that just couldn't believe that my body could not or would not heal. My mind wouldn't wrap around that. So I took a step back and started researching. I just hit Google up. I was a homeschool mom, so I would just sit myself there. And I eventually found a lady in England that did cure herself from the particular condition I had, which was endometriosis. And I had it bad enough that I was in pain 30 days out of the month, and I walked with a cane. So it was a pretty significant case. And so I ordered her book and her subsequent cookbook, and I radically changed my diet right away, went off of sugar, and in less than 2 weeks, I was pain-free.
Wow.
So it was initially just using foods and eliminating the triggers. So that's what was giving me so much success right off the bat.
Wonderful. We're going to talk a lot about sugar tonight. I know that is always, for all of us food healers, a point of controversy and discussion. So we will dig into that. And I'm sure our audience, we have so many people. Thank you for letting us know where you are. Chantalin's from Santa Monica. We have somebody from New Jersey. We have people from Florida. Yay. This is definitely a global interest topic. Lucille, you are a nurse. You've been a nurse for 30 years. And there's always been this question of mainstream medicine, Western medicine, and Eastern and alternative and complementary and integrative philosophies, right? Here we are discussing food as an actual medicine that can be prescribed if you're a registered dietitian or whatever your discipline is. Do you have examples of how food was ever used in the 30 years in a hospital setting? Has it been integrated or not really?
Well, on the cardiac medicine side, if you have heart issues, if you've had a history of heart attack, they put you on blood thinners, for example. And it could be something simple like Coumadin, which is a pill, or daily injections, which is Lovenox. But I had the pleasure of working with a physician who literally ordered for green leafy salads 3 times a day to correct a high bleeding disorder for a cardiac patient. Saw it work within 3 days, hooked, totally hooked. We're so used to looking for the big picture or the bigger, better action, but sometimes it's as simple as just ordering a salad, and he taught me that. Another thing would be, I'm thinking of a woman that had a necrotic foot wound, and they tried all kinds of medicine to help repair it. It ended up having MRSA, which is methicillin-resistant staphylococcus bacteria. And what helped her was using honey as a dressing. The honey, yeah, Manuka honey. Manuka comes from the Melaleuca tree, which also processes tea tree. So that's within the complex. But anyway, so we would put Manuka honey on the wound and dress it. It would pull out the moisture, and with it, the harmful bacteria, and helped the wound heal from the inside out. Just honey. There are many different types of honey, so I can't speak to that, but I can speak about the Manuka honey. Saw that with my own eyes, couldn't believe it. So yeah, that's a way food helped in the medical setting.
So when you now as a health consultant, do you work with people and look at their labs, and then you bring in the food component, or how exactly does it work with what you do when you consult with people now?
I bring all of those aspects in, and also work with the person's physician. Someone can tell you to take a multiple vitamin, which is great because we don't all process nutrients the same. There is the component of age, there is a component of sex, and different secondary issues going on. So taking a multiple vitamin might not be as productive as taking whatever you're just low on, or just pulling back on something that you're high on. I can give examples if you like taking too much vitamin C or zinc can cause constant stomach cramps, or too much selenium can actually lead to hair loss, or too much calcium can cause bone pain or digestive disorders. So labs will tell you whether or not you're in range, Another good example, I had a client who was feeling fatigued, foggy brain, just not feeling herself. We looked at her labs and they thought that she was anemic, but the lab showed that she had sufficient iron in the bloodstream, which would make you think that she didn't have anemia. Looking at the labs and working with other information, it turns out she's taking the iron supplement, so that's what they were picking up on the lab, but her ferritin levels were low, so her body couldn't store the iron. So when she needed it, it wasn't there for use, even though it was there in her bloodstream. Ended up taking a supplement, I think it was spirulina, which helped with that process, and she is doing fabulous now.
Wonderful.
So that's another example how I work with my clients to just figure out what their diet is like, what they're getting from it, what they need from it, and how their body is processing.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to switch over to Craig because we're kind of on a supplement topic, and that's what Shaklee's all about. And then I'm going to come over to you, Linda. So, Craig, tell us a little bit more about Shaklee. So, people have said, like, talk about food as medicine. That's like first pressed food directly into these supplements. But why don't you give more of a deeper explanation of what you represent and how food as medicine is in your world and your products?
Well, I think one of the best things I could share is you know, there's a lot of companies out there, and there's a lot of good companies out there. What ours does is they've done a lot of research, as I mentioned before. They do published manuscripts, and they also you know, scientific journals, and they are peer reviewed, and so they do a lot of research telling you why this is good for you. They do testing on over 350 tests on their ingredients, so that way there's a high level of purity in their products, and so these are things that this company does that I don't think a lot of other companies out there do.
But is it food? I mean, is it based on food? Because isn't it originally based on nutrition from the founder?
Yes. His philosophy was to be in harmony with nature.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going back 100 years ago, but he was diagnosed with cancer because he was exposed to radiation. He was a chiropractor, and they said, we think we need to amputate. And he said, I don't agree with that assessment. I believe nature can heal me. And so what he did is he became his own advocate, and he looked at herbs and plants and vegetables to help him get through. And he lived until he was 90 years old. And so he continued that philosophy, and it continues today. And yes, it's the supplements are really what we call condensed food. And you know, there's a lot of, you know, like a recovery. One of their recovery products is made out of cherry, because one of the things we found is that cherry helps you recover from workouts. And so cherry, yeah. So there's a lot of food-based ingredients in their products that are used to help people with whatever health challenges that they have, or if they're an athlete and they want to compete at a higher level.
Cherries are also great if you have trouble sleeping.
They're also great for gout too.
Melatonin, and great for gout. We love cherries. Anything with the dark phytochemicals are great for the body. Craig, thank you. We'll circle back, because here we're talking about supplements. Now we're going to talk about candy. Is it really candy? So tell us what Happy DNA Candy is about. So I know I mentioned in your bio it's a nutraceutical, but give us a little bit more, because you could have chosen anything, Linda, and you've come from a background of challenges. So you had to have embraced this for very good reason. So I'm anxious to hear. So tell us a little bit more about it.
So this is actually a 10-year-old company that is in 50 countries all over the world. The company is called APL Go. We've only been in the United States 6 months. We are in a whisper campaign, so you're not really going to hear the name of the company, but we have 15 different drops. We have the DNA from the plants. that are put together with some beetroot and some molasses. And the purpose is so that it dissolves in the mouth and goes immediately into the bloodstream, and it's 100% absorbed into the cells. My struggles were my autoimmune issues were so severe, my body and my stomach wasn't absorbing what I was taking in. We have 15 different experiences, but we actually have a full manufacturing plant because and there's tons and tons of science behind it, but it's when to capture all of the DNA, it actually experiences thunderstorms. And from that is to increase all of the, so that when they pull the DNA from the plants, it's at the highest point. And we're FDA registered. We're halal certified. We're kosher certified. We have tons of ISOs. Like I say, there's one from Australia. I think it's Australia that's almost really difficult. The TSA. I didn't think to pull that up. But I'd be happy to get any science behind as far as that goes. But there's 30 years of experience prior to the owner, who's 33, bought the technology and the whole platform from someone in Italy 9 years ago. And so they were actually being used in an athlete in a sports team, and he in Russia, and he was like, "Where's those drops come from?" And we're the #1 immunity product on businessforhome.org. And so that's a little bit about the technology and the product.
Nice.
The one that really addressed my immune issues in Europe has 250 parasites that it addresses, because I ended up with Lyme disease a couple years ago and was bedridden after running a finance and marketing company for 30 years, because my autoimmune just kept getting, I just was really touched by your story, Greg, because yours was so much severe than I was, but the autoimmune inside just continued to kind of grow. And it was just amazing how you can be functioning one moment and then the next minute have things just not work the way you want them to, and then trying to figure out solutions and trial and error. So
Nice.
it's amazing to be on a panel where each of us have had our own personal experiences to come together and collaborate and give so many different options to people live on the feed. And that's really what the Holistic Chamber is here for, is solutions and being able to help others navigate.
Thank you. Absolutely true. Well, I come from a long background in food science. I actually have a degree in food science 30 plus years ago. And what we studied back then, I thought was so innovative. Learned a lot about how to adapt, how to take some bad ingredients out and replace it. But watching in this time frame, and I'm where technology is in terms of positive food science, right? All these new ways of replacing, meats and dairies and replacing it with plant-based stuff. It's just, I marvel at it. And what has been more astonishing and more impressive is how, and this is sort of where we're going with the next round, starting with you, Laura, is how we can look at this as more than just physical challenges. We can look at food as ability to help mental challenges, emotional challenges, even spiritual. with the Food Healing Oracle deck, we call it EMPS wellness, emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual, because food does all those. Everything works together. We're a holographic system or a holistic system. And so we teach about how important that is. So I kind of want to open this next round of discussing how we are all working and acknowledging what we do and how important food is on other levels in addition to physical. So Laura, maybe talk more about what you do as a health coach, because I have a feeling that what we're talking about in this question fits right into what you do, and then we'll kind of go around the room, around the squares, around the stream, whatever. Go ahead, Laura.
Absolutely. As I outlined in my book, it just came out. It's interesting as I've looked back on my past and could see a defining time in my life where all of us actually have gone through something traumatic. And I heard somebody, I think it was a pastor actually years and years ago, say, we can either get bitter or we can get better. And somehow that resonated with me, and nothing bad had happened to me at that point. But then I had some very traumatic things happen to me. And at the same time, I got sick. So for example, I was my father's caregiver as he was terminal, and he lived with me and I got sick. And so I began to kind of understand that our mental outlook and the things that we take in mentally, our inner chatter, the things that we say to ourselves can self-sabotage us. And as I began to learn quantum physics and apply the quantum physics principle in my own life, I began to see, oh my goodness, if we could make ourselves sick, which we can, because if we're stressed out, we know what happens.
Yeah.
Then what if we could also begin to heal ourselves with our mindset? So eating healthy is the bigger part of that, because when our bodies have that cleaner environment, we're not weighed down with toxins and chemicals and all these things that kind of oppress us and oppress our energy, we are able to grasp more clarity. And of course, compound that with a healthy gut. When our gut is healthy and we're able to produce some of that serotonin, then that's another additive factor in a healthy mindset. So definitely I do, when I take clients in, we do absolutely use food as medicine. I have 2 5-week programs and a VIP program. We're always going to intertwine how to rewire your mindset for success. That's always going to be a big part of it.
I had the honor of interviewing Dr. Bruce Lipton. For those out who knows Dr. Bruce Lipton, who doesn't know Dr. Bruce Lipton? Well, I had the honor of interviewing him on my radio show, and he speaks on epigenetics and how there is a consciousness inside of our cells. So we can choose to either remove a consciousness that's unconscious or out of disharmony that is not harmonizing with the rest of the cells, hence disease or depression or anxiety or whatever it is. So I think his work is fascinating. And I always look at how, when you were talking just now energetically, and I look forward to hearing from the rest of the panel, how important it is to talk to our body and intentionalize what we put in it in the different ways that we're going to share here today, and hopefully leave people with some parting good advice, how important it is what we put in. Does anyone want to just let me know, jump in and talk about what you're doing and how mental health or emotional health is connected to what you do and to food as medicine for emotional well-being or mental well-being? Anyone?
Well,
Go ahead, Craig.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to add, Lainie, is that I also worked on a book with a person who talked about optimizing mental performance, and one of the things that we have in there is that we don't have a control over a lot. But one of the things we do have control over is our thoughts. And going back to what Laura said, our thoughts can guide us in either a negative or positive direction, and so getting our brains at a higher level is so important, especially with what's happened with COVID and with how life has evolved and technology and all that. So that's just the point I'd want to add about
Well, make another point. What does your shirt say?
that. I'm living proof.
There you go. See, you hold that vibration of intention that you are living proof, and that's positive. Lucille or Linda, either of you want to comment on food as emotional and mental and spiritual, either way, benefits to what we put in our body? You're on mute. Go ahead, Lucille.
Okay.
And then Linda.
So I really love what I do. I've been on both sides of the coin. And I find that the common thread is how we take in information. Sometimes, and I've experienced that recently with my mom, taking her in to see her physician, and she has questions she's afraid to ask. She's listening, but she doesn't really understand the language that he's speaking. And then he doesn't, unfortunately, have enough time to really decipher things for her. So when she gets home, she's a nervous wreck because she thinks she heard that something was serious when it really wasn't. And so I help her and I help my clients kind of, calmly take the time, really think about what you want to know. What is the information that you've been given is saying? And what kind of questions could you ask your physician so that you don't feel rushed and you don't think the worst? Or if you're doing great, you want to know you're doing great. Things aren't, falling apart. So that's part of what the mainstream of the consultation is about. It helps them not be as stressful or as scared to take control of their better health.
But are there certain foods that are calming? And we know that sometimes sugar has the ability to make you go up and make you crash, but I know without question, I think a lot of you do too, that there are certain foods that have either higher or lower vibrations. So we want to go with high vibrations if we're trying to achieve, a better, higher consciousness, or we're trying a higher state of being, from being low and depressed and sad or angry and jealous to happy and joyful and full of love. Linda, were you going to comment on something? I wasn't sure. If you did, go ahead and unmute.
So as Laura was sharing with the endometriosis, that was one of the autoimmune issues. And I can tell you back, I had many female surgeries, but that was kind of when I began to realize that the food I was eating and journaling, just another phase way before I focused more on helping others with their food, that was a real critical turning point for me of just monitoring, because that just created massive issues. And I had my period twice a month, and it was about a week. So at some points, and so really making sure that I was getting the nutrition to keep my energy up and watching the sugar. And so it was a navigation and journaling and seeing what you're eating, and then incorporating foods that are more positive to change that mindset and focus is so critical.
Well, I discovered lots of things in my journey, and I want you all to be thinking, because I'm going to go back to after I finish the thought and ask you if you have a favorite food as medicine, that like a go-to food or a go-to meal or a go-to any recipe. But I would love for you to share with the audience some of your go-to, like what really is like your thing. But what I had imparted in our food healing oracle deck has foods, and then it has words associated. But mango. So mango is our joy card. But did you know that mango has some phytochemical structures that are the same as cannabis or THC? Brings forward a euphoria, brings forward a natural joy, brings forward that a natural, like, delicious. You can't help but be, you can't be depressed if you're eating some mango unless you're allergic to it. And but there are inherent reasons why certain foods, just like as we know, certain foods look like the organ, right? It looks like the organ. We have the walnuts look like the brain, and the red bell peppers look like the heart, and blueberries look like the eyes. There are reasons. Mother Nature has been signaling for all of us for a very long time, but we were so busy buying the store-bought brand that had the 25 ingredients, right? And this is really a wake-up call for all of us to look how important it is to feed the cells, to feed our consciousness. My mom always said growing up with ingredients, more than 3, leave it be. And my whole life, I've taught that to my children. I know you can't always get 3 ingredients, but Laura or Craig or Linda or Lucille, anybody have some favorite go-to foods that you feel, this to me is food is medicine? Anyone want to share?
do.
Go ahead, Laura, and then Lucille and whoever else next. Go ahead, Laura.
Yeah, anybody that knows me knows I am a huge juicer. I'm a huge vegetable juicer. I want to tell you that 100% of my clients, if not maybe 99.9%, but usually eventually 100% of my clients become juicers because I cannot say enough about it. Celery, by the way, is very calming to the nervous system, and I learned that early on. But in part of my own learning about my vitality and the biome in my body and learning about energy and food, we don't eat enough live foods. And when we do juicing, you are taking that live vitality into your body it is absorbed immediately in your tummy. So I am a huge juicer. I love to spread the word about juicing, what it does for you. I have seen people reverse everything from fibromyalgia. I've had so many of my clients just reverse bursitis, tennis elbow, chronic illnesses, chronic pains, using that as a tool. It may not be the only thing that we do, but when you juice daily, you are infusing your body with these nutrients that we normally don't get in a day, 2 days, and 3 days. So it's my thing. It's definitely my thing.
It's my thing too. So do you know what celery is in our deck? Do you know what the
I don't
word is?
remember, and I love my deck, by the way.
Look what the word. Look
What
what the
did I
word
say?
celery is as you're
That's
talking.
right. That's
That
right.
was not planned, but yes, celery is incredible vitality for the body. Oh my God, that is one of our favorite. We use that in our smoothie book too. Yeah, celery, I think is, and if you just even look like this, if you're all familiar with Fibonacci principle, look at that celery. There is a Fibonacci, the natural order of life in that circle. So yes, we're all fans. Anyone else celery fans, or is it just me and Laura? Because we highly recommend juicing celery. Yeah. All right, cool. Anyone else have a favorite food? Food is medicine that you just absolutely need to share with the audience tonight?
Well, Lainie, I was going to tell. I used to juice years ago, and we did a lot with carrots. And we juiced so much with carrots, my skin would actually turn orange. But one of my go-to foods, especially if I've been outside a lot or if I'm umpiring, spend a lot of time in the sun, I found watermelon to be really good as far as recovering and replenishing and hydrating.
Excellent, excellent one. I love watermelon. Anybody else? Linda? And then Lucille.
My go-to is apples.
Yes.
Red.
Why?
I like them red, crispy. I'm not into them being soft. I'm not sure, just the flavor, and I'm sure you have some other intuitive stuff of what the deal is with apples.
Apples are abundance card for very good reason why people say an apple a day keeps the doctor away. They're just absolutely loaded with a million benefits. If you can put even a half an apple, including the seeds, if you have a juicer for that or a blender, right? Laura's shaking her head. So very good for you to have apples. And red is actually the best, although green's my favorite. Red's really, really good. The darker, the better. Again, you want the darker phytochemicals. Those are the ones doing the good antioxidant, anti-cancer work. Lucille, what were you going to say?
So I'm constantly on the run. If it's not doing 12-hour shifts, it's on my feet all day. I don't drink enough fluids some days, so I have to optimize that. And my go-to is moringa tea.
Moringa, excellent.
Moringa helps lower blood sugar, lower inflammation. Sometimes that happens because I'm just too much on my feet. It has antioxidants. It helps control sugar levels and helps with cholesterol. Like, it's a really go-to. I'd sit here and tell you all the vitamins and nutrients, but there are a lot, and I can't remember all of them at one time. It's an amazing plant.
It is. It is. I had a plant, a moringa plant, and you could buy it at a local nursery here for about $10, $12. And it just shoots up within a short period of time. And I can remember that it got hit by a hurricane and it took off all the leaves. And within a week later, the leaves were back on.
Wow.
It loves abuse. It loves abuse. You can't overwater it, underwater it. It loves abuse.
I'm going to give you 2 examples of, oh, go ahead and mute, Lucille. I'm going to give you a couple more examples of food as medicine. Then I want to circle back and in this time, maybe talk about more about your business and any special offers, anything you want to, share and impart tonight with everyone. But back in the day, I worked for Hollywood's top chef decades ago. She was the chef to all the conscious celebrities, A-list actors. And we used to make, when people weren't feeling well, beet and carrot casseroles. So it would be beet and carrots over like a basmati rice with spices. And for those of you who aren't familiar, and that's why I kind of perked up when you, Linda, were talking about beets, because they're so amazing for the liver, right? So right now we are bombarded with environmental stuff, like you said, Craig, and Lucille, and you're reading things that say you have metals in your body and all sorts of pesticides, and the soil is terrible. But we need to be really having excellent liver function. And so how are we going to do that? So beet and carrots together are amazing, juicing, blending, but also to cleanse the liver. Really, really significant. And the other favorite of mine is asparagus. Why? Because asparagus has glutathione. Okay, glutathione is one of the key ingredients to detoxify the liver. So I always look for things that are going to clean us out faster, most efficiently, bring things. So again, Linda, when you said root, I'm like, oh, I'm already wanting what she's got there, because, or with beet. But those are asparagus and root and beet. Not everyone likes beet, but again, deep dark red. Keep that in mind. But asparagus too. We want things that have the ability to provide glutathione. So any other thoughts on foods or favorites or recipes before we move on? No, we're good? Okay, good. Any questions from anybody? What does Christine said? Good to know, because I kill plants. And now she's saying, here, see, we've inspired her. Now she really needs a juicer. I'm so excited. Yes, Christine, you do. Doesn't everybody? Anybody have any questions from the audience before we wrap up a little bit? I'll be looking for your questions. Okay, so in this last little bit of time, why don't we just talk a little bit about more of what you can offer anybody who sees this panel tonight, or anybody who sees the replay of it, a little bit about what you do in terms of what you can offer. Anybody, I'd love for you, and then I'll keep an eye out if there's any more questions. But who would like to start?
I can.
Go for it.
Great. So I am the founder of the Miracle of You program. I founded my company in 2009. My specialty is helping to reverse chronic pain and chronic illness. It's a broad spectrum, I get that. But most people that come to me are out of balance. So we do that with, I have an intro program, an intermediate program, and as I said, a VIP program. I also offer, I've partnered with a company where we can do epigenetic testing by just a urine test that you can do at home. And I also offer hemp and CBD. I do not teach any diets. We literally take a holistic look at what a person's lifestyle day-to-day looks like. We look at their food. It's going to involve detoxification, obviously. It's going to involve infusing the body with lots of nutrients to bring it back successfully back into balance. And of course, as I spoke about, we're going to talk about using your mind to achieve the success that you want to get to. So I am actually offering a free e-cookbook to anybody who reaches out to me from this video. And it's 60 recipes, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. It's available for the next 3 days. I think that's long enough, or if I should go further. But it's all clean eating recipes. So if anybody needs a jump start, this My Miracle of You e-cookbook is a great way to start and just jump in.
Excellent. Okay, good. So we will follow up, but let's also after this put our special offers in the thread as well, and we'll hopefully have our amazing tech team over at HCC Corporate will follow up with some of these great specials. All right, Craig, do you want to go next, and then Linda,
Sure.
and then Lucille?
Sure. So one of the things that I'm offering is a free health assessment. Just pass on your email and we'll get that to you. One of the things that Shaklee does is it's called a Prove It Challenge, which is 2 canisters of the shake mix, which are either soy, plant, or whey. And then it also includes a vitamin strip and also includes either your choice of a detox system or a product that helps your immune system. And the reason why they call it the Prove It Challenge is that if you don't see a benefit within 30 days, you let us know and you get your money back. And this smoothie mix is a combination of 23 vitamins and minerals. It also has it's very good for digestive health. There's a lot of fiber in there. So it's very good as far as your health goes. And so the other offer I was going to give is that if you order this Prove It Challenge, or if you buy $150 worth of products, you'll get free membership for life, free shipping, and up to $25 off on a product.
Wow, that's fantastic. I'm so impressed with Shaklee that Joanna and I put the protein powder into a couple of our recipes in our smoothie book and have incorporated in the vanilla one we love. I love them both, vanilla and chocolate, but the vanilla one we've put, I think we actually did 1 vanilla and 1 chocolate. So thank you, Craig. That was a lot. So we'll have you put some of that info, but wonderful. Sure. Those are great offers. Thank you. I'm sure everyone will appreciate it. Linda, what would you like to share?
So we have a sample program, and I have a health survey to customize so that we can then send you some of the samples. And there's 3 in here. And then we also send some additional ones based on what your health need is. The 3 that are in here is one's for anxiety, that has banana. One's for joints, it has turmeric, and one's for indigestion that has peppermint. So there are the lots of other ingredients too, but it's all, and then I'll add some additional. So I'll put the survey in so we can customize, and I'll send out the sample, and that's all on my bill. So I will be paying the shipping to send a sample and then follow up.
Okay, so just so I'm clear, because I'm interested, is it an online survey or a link that people will go, or how will people take the survey?
It's an online survey.
Okay, great. Okay, good. So then we'll post the survey link, and then you assess that, and then you know which samples to send. Okay, perfect. Great. I'm shopping here tonight. Okay, Lucille, go ahead.
Okay, so I am offering, it's 50% off consultation, first time consultation, and 35% off services if you're local. That's what I'm offering. So on the consultation, you'd call in, we can discuss any concerns on the nutritional side of things or any questions that you might have, just to get you going. On the services side, I do offer refreshing facial or facials, using things straight out of the fridge and showing you how to do it. So that's what we're offering over at Holistic Radiance Day Spa.
Lucille and I do teach a joint, I'll go ahead and mute, and I'll just explain the Feed Your Face facials. We have done this course online, and we will let this community know about it. where we go on. Joanna and I will talk about different foods, how important they are. Let's just take blueberry, for instance. What does blueberry have in it? Why is it important? Because it's not just the inside, right? The outside is equally important. And why does Lucille utilize food to feed your face? Because food is medicine. And so it's going to help your skin. It's going to help against anti-aging. So she does an assessment in her own way. And we actually do this online. We do it here, but live, but we also do a live online course. And you can take this course. And if you're interested, go ahead and put it in the comments that you're interested. We'll send you some information, but we will give you a demonstration of how you can go into your refrigerator, which is now your medicine cabinet, and now have a complete beauty makeover from your blender. So that's something that she does. I thought I'd throw that in there. Okay. I just wanted, from the Food Healing Oracle deck side, since we are in the month of love still, right? It was just Valentine's Day. Offer you a code of love 20. Love 20. You can't miss or forget that. Love 20 is 20% off, and that's anything in our store. That's our classes, that's our personal readings, that's our deck, our smoothie book, anything at foodhealingdeck.com. Love 20 will give you anything 20% off in our store. Go check it out. All right, as we kind of come to a close here, I see yes pleases. I don't know what that's for, but yes, we want to please and support you. Here, let me just, someone wrote, fantastic info. Thank you, HCC, for the program and all the providers for sharing your knowledge and products. Bless you. Thank you so much. Yes, please. All right. Let's just go around our dial here and just do some closing thoughts. What do we want to impart lastly to leave our guests with in this time together? And by the way, when we sign off, you all stay on. Don't leave me. All right, Laura, go ahead.
I'm just going to give everybody some tips. I would just say start at the basic foundation of adding more live foods to your diet. Try vegetable juicing. Kale doesn't necessarily taste, when you juice it, the same as it does on a plate. So get brave, juice some beets and some celery. And also really work, if you're stressed out or have some self-sabotaging thoughts, know that it can affect your health, and let's work together to change that mindset to get your health moving forward in a positive and successful way. So,
well, who's going to follow up with that? Thank you, Laura. That was fantastic. Who would like to close next?
I'll add to that.
Go ahead.
Adding to that, the road to better health is easier than you think. You got to start somewhere, and now is the best time.
Well said. Well said. All right, Craig, you're unmuted. Go for it.
Yes, the thing I would say is that what we've talked about goes all the way back to Hippocrates, where he said, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. And so I think what's happened is I think we've seen a movement towards people being more proactive with their health and doing more of the natural things, because they realize that what's happened in the last 50 years to our foods has really been tainted. And so adding more pure and natural and wholesome things to our diets is only going to help us in the long run.
Wonderful. Thank you. Well, it begs the question, and we'll get to Lynn in a second, is how important it is also now when we look at situations that may cause a food scarcity, or we can't get out because of weather, or whatever the reason, or in lockdown, or whatever it is, how important it is to grow our own food. And maybe we can have a resurgence in gardening and really looking at how we're putting our own food and the consciousness, the vibration and the energy of us getting into the ground, bringing it back. Hippocrates was so, the father of medicine, and food is medicine, but we still carry those same philosophies further, and we need to do that even more now. Okay, Linda, go ahead, wrap it up for us.
So, I think about this with the pandemic, and the thing that really I worked through was not just the food I was eating, the mindset and what was blocking me from my business, and really how I got into the theta healing. And so many times that can also be so important to look at along with the mindset, because it really is something that can keep us from moving forward and can cause us to sabotage and go back to those ways that we need to move from. And I'm sure, Laura, you see that a lot in your practice. So it's so critical.
Thank you for that. Yeah, I think that theta healing is essential. I use it a lot in my practice with doing readings, and when we're talking about subconscious beliefs and programs that we were taught to believe that aren't really even ours anymore, we need to look at that, such as you have to finish everything on your plate, or whatever the belief system was, you know. But now there are some new beliefs we can incorporate, like why should we eat the rainbow and what does that mean, you know? So there are lots of things, but they're good things. So thank you everyone for bringing it tonight and being our first community panel on the HCC Global platform, and you are amazing, and we look forward to having you put your special offers for everybody. Thank you to everybody who came tonight and who will watch this later. Definitely thank you to Camille Leon for creating HCC. I say that to her. I've known her for 10 years and I say it every time. Thank you for this amazing collective community filled with inspiring people. Mind, body, spirit, business, budget, planet. It all happens at HEC, and we're thrilled that we have such a collaborative team to work together. So thank you. Thank you to everyone who brought this, and thank you to our sponsors, Linda from Happy DNA Candy, Craig Handel from Shackley, and yours truly from the Food Healing Oracle deck, along with my partner in produce, Joanna Salerno. Okay, I think we're good here. Thanks everybody again, and please share this far and wide, and hopefully you walked away with at least one or two, if not more, vital informations of food, and you have vitality with your celery. All right, we're out. Take care. Bye-bye. Everyone stay here, you guys.